Hey YouTube, this is EA, and I'm here today to bring you a little quarantine love by way of teaching tips. I watched several videos over the last couple of weeks of parents and their children. They are so hilarious. Parents, thank you for that expression of love. It makes me now realize that you understand what it's like to be in the shoes of a teacher. The videos are funny and somewhat inspirational because now I feel like you have total understanding. And so when this is all over, maybe we can have better relationships with parents. I actually have good relationships with most of my parents. So maybe this will make us all have good relationships. So I've decided today that I would share some teaching techniques and strategies that I use in my classroom for students to make learning a little bit more interesting. So, teaching tip number one is labels. Label, label, label. Label some things in your house that you can use to teach your students with. For example, put door on the door, put the word window on the window, couch, chair. Just start labeling. You don't have to complete your whole house in a day, but just, as you go along, add more words to more objects. And what it does is it teaches children to identify the word with the object. And after they see it for so long, it'll be ingrained in their head. They'll even know how to spell it. So, some activities that you can do to help you and help your students learn these words are number one, just go through and tell them what the words are. Sometimes when you're teaching children, they seem to be bored and uninterested after a while, so you just have to flip the script and change the game. So you can have them to do a walkthrough and pick out words that they know and come back and read them to you. Or you can have them to do a walkthrough for homework and pick out words they don't know, and you go over those words with them, and they have to go back and study the words and read them to you the next day. You can do activities like having the students use the words in a sentence, or you can find antonyms and synonyms to go with some of the words. You can teach them categories using the words. Like if you had some objects in the kitchen, you can bring them in with the labels and get some out of the bathroom or the bedrooms and have your children to classify those words. Those activities are especially fun for like pre-K through first or second grade students. Love doing classification activities. You can also teach them words and expound on the meaning and the definitions of the words or what relates to the words. Like, for example, if we took the word floor, like in my house, I could take the word floor, but I can also teach them kinds of floors. I have carpet in one of my rooms, I have a linoleum floor, I have the ceramic tiles, and I just have a wood floor. So you can teach them about words in that way. You also can teach them how to spell the words. They can sing the words. They can rap the words. They can play games with the words. Like a very popular game that I play with my students, especially the younger students, was called Sparkle. And this is a spelling game. Most students know how to play Sparkle. So you take like a group of students and you call out a word. Each student has to give one letter in the word in a sequence. So let's say if we took the word black and someone messed up, we had the first student say B, L, and then someone said E, you would yell sparkle, or the students would yell sparkle, and then they would be out of the game. You spell words, and if you spell them right, the last person has to say sparkle or they're out if they don't remember to end. Like if you had the word big and someone said B, the next person said I, the next person said G, and the next person would have to say sparkle or they would too be out of the game. And you do this until you get down to the winner. So another thing that you can do is have the students use the words in a story. So these are your older students, like third, fourth grade. You can have them to take like start off with about 5 words and use them in a story. And then once they get used to it, you can increase. You can also have them, once they use them in a story, tell them to pretend that they're the teacher, and they're going to write some comprehension questions for you to make sure you understand their story, but don't let them use the same word at the beginning of each question. And just kind of have fun. You can go online and look up vocabulary and spelling word games. And you can come up with a lot of stuff to do with these words. Now, as I was watching the video of a parent, she was in the kitchen with her music going, she was cooking, but her children were in the rooms arguing and fussing and yelling her name. So you can also use these words as a distractor or to redirect your children's attention. For example, if I had that situation in my house, I would call my children in one at a time. Little JoJo, come here. I need you to do something. I need you to go through the house and find 10 words that you don't know and write them down on this paper. Then I would call baby sister in. Baby sister, you come on in here. I want you, because she's so smart, I want you to go through the house and find 10 words, but I want you to write these 10 words in a sentence for me. And then, I might call Big Brother in there. Big Brother, come on in here. Get you a little activity too. I want you to take 10 words and I want you to make up a rap. And then I would tell all of my children, this needs to be done by the time I'm done cooking. And since I live by quotes, I would also use a quote. And I would say something like, no bees, no honey, no work, no money. Now, what do you think that means? And if they can't guess right off the bat, you give them hints until they figure out. If you don't have your work done, then you just may not get to eat today. But say it in a very loving and funny way. Usually, if you're calm, children are calm, they'll accept the challenge and get it done. And you can have a little fun. And after dinner, you can let them express what they've learned or go over the words that they don't know. One last thing I want to leave with you too is two things. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'll mention it again. If you have older children and you want to challenge them, you can do these exact same activities, but use a foreign language and just have them to look up the English words and the foreign language words and write them side by side and label the objects. And that will be very challenging for them. Hang those words up a little bit higher so you can separate them from the little people. And what you're going to find is whatever the younger children watch the older children do, they'll pick up on that too. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. But more importantly, I want you guys to be having fun with this. Thank you for listening to me. Remember to push that like button and subscribe to my channel. Leave me some comments below and let me know what you think about the video. And please share. And I will see you back tomorrow for a little bit more quarantine love by way of teaching tips. Thanks again. Peace. Have a great one.